Guess what?
What?
I got a new client this week.
You did?
And I'm so excited about them because guess what their name is?
Tell me.
The Fly Witches.
How incredible is that? Yeah, you have to have
It's a bungee fitness studio in Winchester. So if you guys are in Winchester, Kentucky,
oh my gosh,
you should go check this out.
Fitness?
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all my clients, okay?
Right.
But they don't all have cool names like that.
No. Can you all just rename yourselves?
Yeah, no offense to the other companies that work with me, but
your name's just not as cool.
I mean, the Fly Witches,
My
it's almost
gosh.
unfair that they even have to compete with that in terms of name.
Yeah, like no one can compete with that.
Hey, this is the Witches Magic Murder Mystery Podcast.
We are here doing an episode today, and I'm Kara. We don't know how to function. It's almost like we haven't seen each other in forever, but we have. It's been a week.
We did skip last week.
We did. Oh, it's been 2 weeks.
I know. That's
what's happening. That's what's happening to us right now.
I love you so much.
I really love you a lot, and that's what's going on.
When I got here today, because I hadn't seen her in forever, and I was trying to finish up my episode, and Karen just kept like, "Let me show you this. Let me show you this. Let me show you this."
Megan, pay attention to me. Megan.
Listen, I loved all of it that you had to show me. So
yeah, it's
you
great.
all got to come to the coffee shop. People in the Facebook group are talking about coming to the coffee shop.
I am so excited about
and
that.
I put on there, I was like, if you don't tell me when you're coming, I'm going to
Yeah, they have to let us know.
You can't let us know when you're there.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give me a warning because I'm not.
We need a week's notice.
I know it seems like I'm always here, but I'm not.
She's got things to do. And I'm really not either. I'm all over the place.
Yeah. So I would love, though, to meet you guys. I always think about how fun it would be when I'm here, like, typing up my episode. If somebody walked in, they're like, "Oh my God, I'm listening."
Well, I'll have people message me afterwards and be like, "I saw you in the coffee shop," and I'm like, "Why didn't you come say hi to me?"
I know.
Or
yeah,
like,
always
if
say
I'm
hi.
Working, people will be like, "Oh my God, I listen to the podcast," and I'm like, "Oh my God, I want to come talk to you, but
So
I can't."
cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Episode.
Have you heard of the Mad Gasser? Megan, in the 1940s, gassing up a town.
I think I was married to him once. That's an appropriate ex-husband joke, I think.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I can say that without making anybody mad.
Yeah. I think it fits. Okay. So I'm going to set the scene a little bit. Mattoon is a small city in Coles County, Illinois. And back in the 40s, they found some petroleum reserves nearby. So that gave them a little bit of a boom. But that has nothing to do with our podcast episode today. Just giving you all a little detail. So let's talk about World War II soldiers, because that's close to this time frame.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, did you know that World War II soldiers had a lot of like psychological issues after the war?
I can imagine.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. So that kind of had a little impact here a bit. And some people think that this may have something to do with it. Who knows? There's a lot of theories out there. It's wild. Taking you on a wild ride. Mattoon was a quiet town, fewer than 20,000 people when these attacks started. Mm-hmm. Yep. Also, there is a fella, James, stationed at an army base in England when this all started, and he read about it, and he writes his mother, and he's like, what's happening? Are you
safe?
For real? Is this real? Like somebody's gassing you?
When you say gassing,
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean exactly?
I don't mean gassing you. I mean like there's some weird gas in the air.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
And people are gassing people.
Okay.
Yeah, literally gassing. Gas. Could people gas other kinds of gas? I don't know.
People gas. It was just a wild case of IBS all over town.
All over everybody had it because of the oil. Okay, so allegedly, we don't know. That's just our theory. We're sticking to it. Okay, so the first gasser incident is 1944. Okay, it happens at a house on Grant Avenue on August 31st. This lady, Urban, wakes up in the early morning. Oh, no, wait. I'm doing this again. So the first gasser incident happens in 1944. It's on Grant Avenue on August 31st. And this guy wakes up super early in the morning and he's like, there's this weird smell. Like, what is going on? Like, has like a pipe busted? Like, I don't know. I'm feeling super sick. I'm feeling really weak. All of a sudden, he starts puking.
Oh, gosh.
So his wife is like, oh my gosh, is it a gas leak in the house? So she tries to jump up to check the kitchen stove and she's partially paralyzed and can't get out of bed.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So later that next night, or maybe the next morning, depending on which article you read this from, a young mom living nearby that area experiences something similar. She wakes up to her daughter coughing, but finds herself unable to move. She can't get out of bed.
That'd be so scary, especially when you have kids you want to get to.
Right. She had just put her 2 kids to bed. Her husband's out driving his taxi. He's away, so her sister and her nephew are staying there. And everything, like, they had no issues getting the kids to bed. They had no issues getting to bed. Like, there was no smell, anything. Like, they, nothing was out of the ordinary. She said, I noticed this weird, sweet smell in the bedroom. She told the Washington Post this, but I just assumed it was from the flowers outside. But then the smell got stronger. My legs and lower body started to feel paralyzed. She said she managed to call out for her sister, who rushed in and opened the window and let the fumes out. Yeah.
So how long did it take? Like, she had put the kids to bed and gone to her room. Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't like, it doesn't sound like it was a very long time.
No. So police start patrolling the area, searching for anything out of the ordinary, but they can't find anything. So when her husband gets home, he does see a tall man dressed in dark clothing around the area. And so he's like, oh, shoot, is this somebody doing this to us? Like, what's happening? So obviously the local paper picks it up, the Journal-Gazette, and they run a headline about anesthetist.
Okay.
Yep. A prowler on the loose.
You just gave out completely.
Yep. Anesthetic. Mm-hmm. Nurse. What is
Anesthetist?
Yeah. But isn't that the...
It's a terrible word to say.
Why? So they said not long after reports, there were more attacks that start popping up. So September 5th, the newspaper reported several victims of the gasser, including 2 children. That night, it gets weirder. Carl and Beulah noticed something on their front door. They had been out earlier. They come home around 10 p.m. They get there, and she sees a pink cloth stuck on the screen door. Mm-hmm. And she's like,
Beulah.
oh, what is... I know.
I just like that name.
I know. Beulah.
Okay,
and she's like, this is weird. I'm going to smell it. Beulah, don't.
Haven't you heard the news about the
Right.
people
What
with
are
the
you
gas?
doing? So she gives it a sniff.
Just knocks herself out.
Yeah.
Beulah, honey.
Yep. Yeah. So she said it had a sweet, cheap perfume odor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beulah, why are you doing that?
Don't they say that
She's-
chloroform smells really sweet?
Maybe.
I don't remember. I feel like there's something I'm
The
thinking
last
of.
time you knocked somebody out.
Right.
You
I didn't
remember
notice.
that sweet smell. So she said she felt a jolt of electricity shoot through her body. Her throat starts burning, and then she began bleeding from her mouth.
But if it's a gas,
Mm-hmm.
how would it be soaked into a cloth?
Maybe they, you know how you can send farts in jars. Megan, we've talked about this.
I was not prepared. I think that's the best callback joke you've ever done. Oh, God, I hope that got all picked up. You know, you can send parts.
Farts in jars. Gas in jars, Megan.
Oh, that's
Gas in
real.
jars.
That's going on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. But still, they don't see a person around, so still mysterious. September 18th, 1944, Time magazine publishes a story about the Mad Gasser. They claim
Just
it's
a terrible name.
I know I'm going to keep saying it. They said it was a tall, thin man who wears a black skull cap. He moves through the night as nimbly and secretly as a cat.
How do they even know that?
Listen. They published this, squirting a sweet smelling gas through the bedroom windows.
Listen.
We're not adult enough for this story.
But also, gases don't squirt. That's not. You're using the wrong verb, people. That doesn't make any sense.
They got water guns with gas.
Time magazine. I expect better.
Okay, so people start getting a little weirded out and they start arming themselves, roaming the streets, like literally arming, like weapons. They start searching for the mad gasser. They said that police chief issued a warning stating that roving bands of men and boys should disband. They are in grave danger of being shot by some frightened property owner.
I'm also wondering if there's just one, or once they start being
right.
But are there copycat gassers, and where are they all getting this gas from?
Right.
That's another thing. Is like you think that whatever the source of the gas is would be the easiest part of this to trace.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Figure out what the gas is, and you've got your person.
No. Like, why Beulah's napkin? Why couldn't they trace it over that? I don't know. Do some tests. It's the 40s, though, so I don't know how they could. I don't know how advanced their stuff was. Okay. But vigilantes didn't really scare this gasser. So then there's another incident at a home of Mrs. Violet Driscoll and her daughter, Ramona. They wake up late at night to the sound of someone removing the storm sash from their bedroom window. They try to get out of bed and run for help, but the fumes hit Ramona. She starts puking. Her mom said she saw a man running away from the house. And then later that night, the gasser sprayed fumes into a partially opened window where Mrs. Russell Bailey, Catherine Tuzo, and Mrs. Genevieve Haskell and Mrs. Haskell's young son were sleeping. At another house, Mrs. Frances Smith and the principal of Columbian Grade School and her sister Maxine were hit by the gas and got sick.
So this is all in one night?
Yes. They wake up choking. Their arms and legs felt paralyzed. They mentioned a sweet smell filled the room. They said there was a thin blue vapor, and they heard a buzzing noise from outside. So they thought that was like the gasser spraying apparatus.
So they could see the thin blue vapor. They could see the gas.
Saying. Yeah. And I'm just wondering too, like, could you see it, or did it mess with you so bad that like you started seeing things?
Right. I mean, because whatever it is seems to be very potent very quickly. Because it's like very suddenly they can't move and they're coughing and they're throwing up.
Yeah. Yeah. So the FBI gets involved. They're trying to figure out what type of gas is being used. And they're really struggling to find this armed gasser. And nobody's having any luck. So several dozen well-armed farmers from the surrounding area joined in the patrols. 6 more attacks happened, even though all these people were on patrol.
Are you making fun of farmers?
They couldn't find those gases. Mm-hmm.
Stick to your day jobs. Farmers.
Don't gas my crops. Don't crop dust us.
Maybe someone should have looked harder at the farmers.
Yeah. Ooh.
Because the
crop dust and everything.
Does anybody die?
No.
Okay, good. That won't feel so bad about it.
No. Yeah. So then several gas attacks are reported, but then they start writing them off as false alarms. And newspapers start to get a little more skeptical. They are, even though like victims are saying that there's like lots of evidence left behind, police are just like dismissing all these reports. And they're just like, I think people are starting to imagine things because of the mayhem that's happening. Like, I think that they're just like hearing and seeing things because that's what they're thinking about. That's what they're wanting to happen or something.
So it's like because once they like open the window or do whatever, the physical symptoms are having go away. So I guess there's no way to prove that you're actually that you're not just faking it.
Megan, it's the 1940s. So psychological experts think that this is just a cry for attention. The women are just crying for attention.
Were they all in their
because
periods?
their husbands have been overseas fighting in the war.
They just wanted someone to look at them.
They really did. They were really, really bored.
You know how women are.
Just waiting on a man.
Hysterical.
Waiting on a man to come rescue them.
Oh my God.
They were aghast. Megan's face.
I'm proud of you for that one.
Okay, there's lots of people that start blaming the police because they're like, you are failing to protect us. Like, you really aren't doing your jobs. The local newspaper said, we suppose it is natural for the pride of the policeman to be stung a bit when a crime is committed. For this reason, there has been a tendency in Mattoon police circles recently to conceal from the public the fact that certain crimes have occurred. So they're just saying, the police are brushing this off. Like they're not telling us what else is happening so we can be aware of it, so we can watch out. They're just like, the police don't care about us. They can't solve it, so they don't care.
I was going to say, the police can't solve it, so instead they're just going to say it's fake.
Right.
It's all made up anyway. If we can't solve it,
then it doesn't matter. And then the police chief is like, wait, I solved it. Guys, this is my final word on the attacks. He says that large amounts of carbon tetrachloride gas used at the local Atlas Diesel Engine Co. were causing the reported cases of illness and paralysis. He said this gas could be carried across the town by wind. It might explain the stains found on the rag at one of the homes. And he was like, as for the mad gasser, it's just a figment of your all's imagination. Nobody saw a human in a skull cap. Like, nobody's seeing this. He said it's just a mistake from the beginning to the end.
Did the wind pick up a pink cloth and
make Beulah smell it?
Yeah.
I don't
soak it in and stuff it in it.
The wind just carried it to her house and stuck it in her door handle. So then Atlas Diesel Engine Plant is like, hey, spokesman, we need you to go do some PR over here. And they're like, hey, guys, we aren't responsible for this, and we're not responsible for the panic in your town. The gas in question's only used in our fire extinguishers. And any similar gases used here, they're not going to cause any harm to people if it's released in the air. But it's not. So,
but does someone else have access to that gas that could be getting it and doing stuff with it?
But he's like, this gas has never caused problems in the city before, and we've been here for a hot minute. And also, is our gas going to start cutting your window screens and causing you to feel nauseous and feel paralyzed? And also put a human under your, I don't know.
And the police officer's like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it sure did. It takes human form when it arrives to houses. The gas hits a wall and it's like, oh, I'm a person. Oh. Oh, and then also, like I said, several people identified some sort of human figure.
Yeah, they saw somebody.
Yeah, but no, you didn't. The police chief said, no, it was gases. Yeah. So the last gasser attack occurred September 13th. It's the final incident.
Wait.
Or not September 13th.
Oh, I was going to say, this happened in a very short period of time.
Well, the last gasser attack occurred soon after that.
Okay.
And I accidentally put that name. So it's possibly the weirdest, says this article.
That's
happened
a lot.
It happened at the home of Miss Bertha Bench and her son Orville. They said the attacker was dressed as a man. It was a woman dressed as a man, and they sprayed gas into the bedroom window. The next morning, they find footprints that are made by a woman's high-heeled shoe, and there's dirt below the window.
Are they saying it's a woman dressed as a man just because of that high-heeled shoe?
Right.
Because it could just be a man wearing heels.
Right, yeah.
But I guess in the 40s, that's like,
ooh, no. Don't do that.
I don't.
Yeah. Time magazine called it the arch criminal. Chicago newspapers said the gas fiend and the mad phantom.
I think the mad gasser's the best.
I love the mad gasser. Yeah, so people are just like starting to question if this town is safe, if their families are safe. Like I said, there's a guy in the military writing home to families like, what's happening in our town? Is this real? Are you all serious right now? Like, what are you all doing? So chemists in Chicago argue that there's no real evidence of a mad gasser. 17 families claim they're gassed in a single night. The victims report symptoms, nausea, paralysis, vomiting, but the paralysis was only temporary. So the police are like, fine, we'll get a list of suspects if this makes you all happy.
I guess we'll do our jobs.
Right.
Jeez.
They said, well, there's this disgruntled high school chemistry teacher. I mean, maybe there's some issues here. There's a little prankster over there that gets a little violent. Might be them. And then they were like, wait. There's an escaped Nazi or Japanese prisoner of war nearby.
Nazi or Japanese.
Yeah, yeah. They weren't sure. They weren't
just
sure.
some prisoner of war.
Just there was one, so maybe they're disgruntled as well. Also, there's a really wealthy, eccentric person living over here, and you know what? We think he has a lab in his basement. I bet he's also gassing people.
This is like it's like a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yes. I mean, it's just nuts. So people continued to roam around. So the police commissioner said, I wouldn't walk through anybody's backyard at night now for $10,000.
Because you'd be easily
you'd be shot.
Good Lord.
You'd be shot because people continued to roam around trying to make sure that nobody was harmed.
So this started out as just one attack here and there.
Yeah,
And then we had
it got wild.
17 in one night.
But then it's like as fast as it happened, it ended. There's no more reports of fumes or odors. But I'm wondering so listen to what the police chief said.
Okay.
He gets really frustrated and he announces he's going to arrest anyone claiming to be a victim unless they undergo medical examination.
And most of these victims are women.
Uh-huh. And they don't want to be put somewhere.
Ew.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yep.
If you listen, if you try to say that you're a victim of a crime and expect me to actually do my job, I'm going to arrest you.
Yes. Yep.
Ew.
Ew. Ew, ew, ew. So then there's a chemistry teacher, Scott Maruna, I believe.
Is this the disgruntled?
No. He actually believes the mad gasser was real. He said there's this person, Farley Llewellyn. When he wasn't hanging around his family's grocery store, he was in a secret chemistry lab.
I just need to say that all of the names in this story are amazing.
I know.
Farley Llewellyn.
Farley Llewellyn.
Bertha Bench earlier with her son.
Good.
What was her son? Orville.
Orville.
I mean, it's incredible. Okay,
These are beautiful names. It sounds like we are on the carousel of progress.
It's perfect. I just tell you, this whole story is like it's a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah, it really is. So he said one of his experiments even caused an explosion in his quiet neighborhood. So maybe Llewellyn was the mad gasser. They said, did police even consider this person to be a suspect? But then they said that it's kind of unlikely that this one person could have done it, though. They said that even if he was testing his chemical concoctions, there's no way he could have visited all of those houses in that span of time.
Yeah, the 17 in one night is wild.
Yeah. Hey, Megan, some writers on the paranormal have covered these. And there's one that says that this is not human. It's not a human being. It's paranormal. Extraterrestrial beings doing it.
Oh.
So when in doubt,
Aliens. Yeah.
And that's what I'm ending this on.
And
aliens. Gassing.
I mean, why not?
Why not?
We don't have any other answer.
We don't.
At this point, it's as likely as anything else.
What is it? I don't know. Mad gasser.
Well, thank you for that story.
You're so welcome.
I've never heard of it. And that's a story you'd remember.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I came across it doing another one and I was like, doing this first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, wait till you hear the episode I'm about to tell you. You're going to be happy we had this comic relief.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you all for listening.
Yes.
We love you
so much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.